Aloha. Happy New Year. Thank you for being a subscriber to my channel, whether you're a spectator, congratulator, or hater. I love y'all. I've been putting this video off for a long time. You know, surfing got me into some serious drama. Like serious drama. Now, if I was real clever, I'd start putting like flashback photos and flashback videos and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't have those resources to make that happen right now. So I'm going to tell you a story about how surfing got me into drama, like serious drama. Well, I had a real bad childhood. My poverty. Hold on, I got an order coming in for Uber Eats. Let me pick this up so I can make some gas money, and I'll continue this conversation in a minute. Alright, so if I'm going to tell a story about how surfing got me into serious drama, it's got to start here at Fletcher Senior High School. Man, I can't believe it. It's getting close. It's like 2 years before I'm like a 30-year graduate. It's amazing. And my entire 30 years since then has all been working towards that grand goal of making surf movies. So let me tell you a story about how surfing got me into some serious drama. And I'm not talking about that time where you guys jumped me in a B-haul over some webbed gloves that I had nothing to do about, which really upset me because I was trying to be friends with some people, and I ended up getting jumped over some gloves I had nothing to do with, those webbed finger gloves. Might have a lot to do with my anxiety and hyper defense mechanism when I'm out surfing, because I've just been bullied way too much. But I think I'm gonna go over to the football field and tell this story, because if it weren't for Coach Joe Reynolds, I never would have gotten drama. We're over here at the Fletcher Senators Athletic Complex. My class, 95, we opened this thing up. It was actually done at the end of 94, but 95, we opened this thing up. I always think it looks like the Hall of Justice from the Justice League. Let me tell you this little story here. Well, y'all know I came from a poor family. My mom died this last year. Something I haven't gone into, but I'll make a little vlog about that. And the whole card dealing thing, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, I passed my test and everything, but the respect I was giving those people just wasn't reciprocated. And then I learned a whole lot about their card machines, and it just didn't feel like something I wanted to be a part of. But let's get to the real reason why I'm here, and that's to tell you a story about how surfing got me into some serious drama. Well, it was 10th grade. No, it was 9th grade. It was 9th grade. It was the end of the 9th grade year. And you take these kind of like career aptitude tests and things like that. Get the scores, and you meet with the guidance counselor and talk about your career paths and all that kind of stuff. And then you pick the electives that you're going to take in order to, propel your career. You know, my mom was a drug addict. My father was murdered. You know, my childhood wasn't the best. And I think that's why my idea of timing is just different, because I always saw like working and progressing towards something good. And all right, I'm going off topic. So I meet with the guidance counselor. He goes, Jeremy, what do you really want to do with your life? I'm like, I really want to make movies. I'd like to make surf movies. I'm like, what classes do I need to take to do that? And he goes, well, you got to get into drama and TV production. So I sign up for those elective classes, and the schedule comes back, and I've got put in some electives that I didn't choose. And I'm like, man, I really wanted to get in that class. So I go to the guidance counselor and I said, hey, whatever happened to this drama and TV production class? I signed up for it. And he says, well, the teacher didn't let you in. He's like, you got to get signed off on by the teacher. And I was like, really? So I went to Coach Reynolds and I said, hey, Coach Reynolds, I said, I'm trying to get in this drama class to help my career and to help my future later on in life. I'm like, but the lady's not letting me in the class. So he's like, come on, Cook, come with me. So we go down. I think at the time they had some portables behind where the gym is. And we went to Miss Fallon's portable over there. And he knocks on the door. He's like, Miss Fallon, can you come outside for a minute? And she comes outside, closes the door, and I'm over there with Coach Reynolds. And he's like, Miss Fallon, I don't know if you know Jeremy. Jeremy's one of our football players here. And she's like, hi, Jeremy, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fine, how are you? And he goes, Jeremy's trying to get in your drama class and your TV production class in order to help his career out in the future. And he was turned down. Is there a reason why he was turned down? And she immediately goes, I can get him in a drama class this year, coming up right now. And he's like, okay. Signs over the paper, and then she goes, well, the TV production class you can't get into because it's a junior-senior class. And I was going into my sophomore year at the time. I was going into 10th grade. So she signs off on me getting into drama, and I get into drama because Coach Reynolds takes me there and gets me in the drama class. Well, I'm taking drama. And I was playing football. We had a good season my 10th grade year. Played JV, moved up to varsity, got an interception my first play on varsity. And 10th grade, the drama teacher comes to me, and I missed a couple classes, and I don't think I was taking it quite as seriously as I should have, just based on the fact that I was playing football and I was wrestling and surfing and other stuff. But she comes to me kind of like after winter break, and she goes, Jeremy, I will change your grade to an A for every semester that you've taken drama, and I will give you an A every class you take from this moment on if you take ballet for me and do Dream Curly in our spring musical, Oklahoma. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I went to Nancy Tuttle, Nancy Dance, took ballet, and I would go to the rehearsals, and I would be there watching the rehearsals, and I'd watch people singing and dancing and having a good old time, and I was just there doing the little ballet sequence, just doing what I need to and leave. But I went to Miss Fallon after one of the rehearsals. They did this song called The Farmer and the Cowman Should Be Friends, and they were just having a good old time. And I was like, can I be in more than just the ballet? Can I do some more of this? I think I can do it. And she was like, well, if you go to the voice teacher and sing her a song, and she thinks that you can do it, then you can do it. And I was like, okay. So we had a voice teacher named Laura Peden, and I went to her and I sang Happy Birthday. She's like, oh, you got a nice voice. I'd like to give you voice lessons. And then I'm going on about how, my family doesn't have a lot of money, and I kind of got to do everything. I used to take the trash out at Charlie Coleman's on 3rd Street for 25 cents a trash can when I was a kid to get me Slurpees and Big Gulps. But she's like, yeah, you got a nice voice. And she was like, I'll give you a scholarship. And Nancy Tuttle wanted to give me a scholarship for dance, but I think my ego was just too fractured at the time. But the voice lessons I completely caught on to when I started taking Laura Peden's trash out for voice lessons. And I was playing football, and I hurt my neck at the end of my 11th grade year. I hit a guy so hard, my bull ring face mask caved in. Referee threw a flag talking about save those hits for Sunday. I really didn't know I was hurt or how hurt I was until we came back and a few days had passed and we started to lift weights, and I had a hard time just lifting 135 pounds. And I don't think these problems will ever leave me. And so they took me to the team doctor, and they took some x-rays of me and all that kind of stuff, and they told me that I was going to need surgery, that they hadn't seen injuries like that on high school players. Usually it happens in early professional, but I'd caused so much bones to chip and spur here in my like C4 area, that it was about to sever my nerves. They told me if I kept playing, it could paralyze me, and I could get surgery done, but the football season would be done after the surgery, so I was going to miss my whole senior year of football. And the doctor told me that this is something that it could work out on its own, and he gave me like some rubber bands to use and move around. And that stopped me from playing football. Well, when that happened, I auditioned for a play with everyone that I was doing theater with YBAG, the Youth of the Beaches Arts Guild, and they were doing the Wiz, and I got cast as the Tin Man in that, and then everything just kind of like kept propelling, and after we did the Wiz, or while we were doing the Wiz, the Alhambra, the professional theater here, the Equity House, they were having auditions for a musical called Big River, and I got cast in Big River. Got excused by Dr. Pauk and missed like the first 4 months of my senior year to go do a show at the Alhambra 8 times a week. I made $10 a show. I made $80 a week doing that show. But if it weren't for surfing, I never would have gotten a drama. And it's kind of moved me. And that kind of causes everything else in life to then happen. Like How I Met Your Mom. I wouldn't have met your mom if it weren't for surfing. And then me playing football. So it's a very unique story to tell. Well, I don't have anything else to say except after I did the play at the Alhambra, I did some other plays. I had a director leave me a card on my dressing room nightstand at the Alhambra, and then I got cast in a play called Babes in Toyland at River City Playhouse that paid a $25 per performance contract. I did over 25 shows, and then I did some more theater, and then I had a friend named Adonis who was doing a play, a professional play. He's like, Jeremy, man, Cookie. He's like, they need some help, man. They need some help, man. He's like, can you give me a ride to rehearsal and you can meet the director and the writer and the producer? And I was like, yeah. That's a whole different story, but that's flipping in the fast lane. I don't want to say it's the first time I got ripped off, but I got ripped off for $2,500 per performance. Gave those people 8 months of servitude for absolutely nothing, and that's what caused my first repo. That's what really caused me to really get in the hole and then really starting to try to battle back from that. But I never had family support me. In fact, every time I was doing something with school or volunteering or anything, they would just hate on me. What are you doing that for? You're just wasting your time. I've done a lot of things to try to make my life better, and I'm fucking living in a van, dude, and it's flipping stupid. Excuse my language. God bless America. I don't think people realize just how shy and how scared I am, like, at all times. Like, anxiety. Like, if I go to, like, a surf contest, or I have so much anxiety, and I have so much stress, I don't think anyone realizes how much courage and bravery it actually takes me to go out to these places, because I've been bullied so much. And not only that, but in 2018, there were 4 attempts made on my life where people broke out the windows of my van, had guns pointed at me. And I don't know if you've ever had, your life threatened in such a violent way, but it really impacts you. And, I think that's all for this story. Kids, I love you if you're watching. Grandkids, I love you if you're watching. And, everyone in the world doesn't have good moms and dads or support structures like probably most of you have. I have a lot of people watch me, and I think that they would be like my supporters, but in reality, every time I meditate on it, it's just like you're just surrounded by spectators or haters. No one wants to help you. It's easier to hate someone, and it's harder to love someone. And it's harder to show support than it is to hate someone. And that's what's been shown to me. You know, a killer whale washed up on the beach in Flagler. And you know what's really wild? Sometimes Father God sends me symbols and things like that. But I've been riding like this for a while. Let me show you this. And then when that happened, it kind of... I don't know, you see the Holy Bible, you see the single orchid. It says SeaWorld. It's kind of like Father God talking to me again. Just let me know everything's real. And, you know, they say it's a sin to know what's right and not do what's right. And, you know, anyone at any moment can make the change for good. And, you know, Father God has warriors and soldiers too, so sometimes the role is harder than it appears to be. But I hope you're all doing well. I love you, and thanks for hearing my story. And we'll talk to you soon.